Hey everybody, it's Kendrick from Providence Tarot, and I would like to wish you all a happy, safe, secure new moon in Cancer. Solar eclipse. Solar eclipse. It's hard to say that. New moon solar eclipse in Cancer. Cancer is the fourth sign, which talks about stability. It's the first sign that talks about emotion. So we're talking about emotional stability. And we're talking about emotional security, right? The place that we come from, the safe environment that we're able to thrive in when we're the most vulnerable. It's also the place that allows us to recognize what safety is and what it means for us and how we have to act in order to, be in our best interest, right? Because being in your best interest is practicing safety, yeah? I'm actually having a beer right now, so I hope that's okay with you guys. And if it's not, then, try to relax. It's been a hell of a week end, or whatever. Hell of a life. But I will say, Cancer is the fourth house, and it's related to that number 4 Emperor energy, of Aries, and it is the first of something. It's the first water sign, and it's cardinal. So the awareness in the response and the reactiveness to what's happening during this season, or especially during the eclipse, is casting shadows on things, right? Casting shadows on our emotional triggers, or the shadow parts of self, the shadow self that the trigger brings to the surface, right? That it sort of uncovers. Because when our triggers are hit or set off, then we're sort of uncovering a part of ourselves that's kind of been laying dormant, right? But it was still there. There was still energy. It was just being sort of like closed off, right? Which Cancer does. It closes off its feelings and it closes off itself to protect itself and to protect its feelings. But when those things are unleashed, right? When that shadow of when that moon uncovers the sun, we are then re-enlightened, right? Reimagined, right? And Mercury is about to go retrograde. We're in station retrograde. So the eclipse is really just uncovering some things for us that are bringing to our awareness where we might have been submitting, where we may have been too receptive, where we may have been a little bit asleep, where we may have been a little bit too far tucked back into our secure place that we weren't able to see what was going on right outside our door, right? Also, the full moon lunar eclipse in Capricorn that's happening on July 16th is happening the day before Robert Mueller testifies, And the eclipse is definitely sort of like a precursor to that. It's happening 2 weeks before. It's letting us marinate. We're getting seasoned. We've been seasoned, right? Getting ready for this cook-off. Because it is getting hot in the kitchen. And there are too many cooks, especially in our government, right? I mean, our leader, the person who is, governing us, which Capricorn also rules governing, Cancer does also rule governing as well, talking about governing the home, okay? And when you think about the United States, our birthday is on the 4th, that's Cancer season, that's talking about the home, right? Everybody wants to protect the homeland. Who are we protecting the homeland from? What are we protecting the homeland from? How do we identify, how do we identify with those things? Or how do we, how are we informed enough to be able to recognize and identify the things that we feel are unsafe within our environment, in this place we call home, in this place that we felt like and we thought was secure until we realized it wasn't as secure as we would like it to be, right? And I've seen literal fights happening out in public spaces, okay, in environments. We feel like there should be safety in public environments, right? Of course. That's why we have laws and rules that govern those public spaces, right? So that we can ensure safety for those people that are, submitting themselves, Cancer, to, that which they could become vulnerable to, right? And people are submitting their children, right? Themselves, of course, because it's talking about the identity, there's a purpose, right? There's intention that comes from the emotional awareness that you have been, alerted by your conscious and your spirit and your soul. Like so many of us are becoming more alerted to the things that are happening within our environment, within our community. What's happening to people? Who are the most vulnerable people, right? Who's screaming, I'm a victim, but really they're not. They're the ones who are attacking the most vulnerable. Children being one of those things. I was on the train one night coming back from work on a Friday. It was a Friday of Pride weekend. Well, there was a woman sitting down. She was of a different nationality, okay, than the women that were standing. Well, they got in a scuffle because they were talking about, social expectations, right? And actually social responsibilities that we have as adults to be able to assert ourselves in a way that's going to be in the best interest of ourselves and those around us, okay? This was not happening. These people got into an altercation verbally. Someone put their hands around someone's neck after racism came up. That sparked the actual fight, because once you do this to someone who's holding bags in both of their hands in front of their children, a mother, Cancer, now you're going to open up a can of worms, right? Dark shadow stuff. And that's what the dark moon is, the new moon, right? Don't get too involved. Don't, just kind of like lay low, right? I saw a guy today who the cat was in there doing something, who told the guy, come down to the end of the block, come down to the end of the block. And I'm watching him, and the guy makes his way. I eventually see the guy coming to the end of the block, and then he's like, what'd you say? And he starts hitting him. Then they're fighting, and then afterwards, a girl comes out of nowhere. She tries to talk them out of it. And then after that, I go to the bank. I'm doing whatever I'm doing at the bank. I see the two guys that were just fighting with their arms around each other. The girl trying to say something to them, and the guy who started the fight pushing her away. That's Cancer season. That's what's going on with this eclipse happening right now. Let's wait a few days, and then things will be revealed. Give it 2 weeks. Give it 3. Give it after the retrograde. Lay low. Keep it cute. Keep it cool, y'all.